Hey everybody, Raids here. Welcome back to another video. Get comfortable, sit tight, because we've got 20 minutes of breeding and breeding guide coming up. I know a lot of you guys requested this. We're gonna make a Shadowbeak for raids. These are the stats we're going for. The passes are Siren of the Void, Legend, Serenity, and Demon God. And I'm gonna show you how you end up with a breeding pair like this one. Just so you have here, you see here that they both have Dark Whisp and the passives that we want and 100 IVs. In this video, we're going to go over how to get that. So the first thing you're going to do is whenever you target a pal, in this case, we're going to target Shadowbeak for breeding. I want you to research the hell out of it and research the breeding combos. So the first thing I want you to do is go catch 2 Shadowbeaks. This is the pal we're using for the guide. It's a Shadowbeak with Dark Whisp and the passes we want. So go mass catch Shadowbeaks, which is what I'm doing here on video. They're on Island Sanctuary 3, and I'll drop the coordinates in the description. First of all, catch a male and a female of what you want. Ideally with blank passives or with as few passes as possible. Put them in breeding pens. And the purpose of putting them in breeding pens is to roll for Serenity and Demon God, which are the passes that occur naturally in this case. It's going to be Demon God and Serenity, which we are not passing down. We want them on the actual Shadowbeaks. So I want you to catch a lot of Shadowbeaks until you get a male and a female with blank passives. And then you put them in breeding pens, okay? And then you're going to keep breeding them until you see Demon God and Serenity show up. Preferably Demon God, that's going to be the hard one. So next up, we're going to do some research on, while we're doing that, we're going to do some research on the Shadowbeak pal himself. And we're going to see what the breeding combos are to get what we want. So first of all, we have Elizabeth plus Bellanoir Libero is required to pass the Siren of the Void passive, which is 30% dark damage and 30% ice damage. It's very strong. So while the Shadowbeaks breed, I want you to go catch Elizabeths. And the reason, again, for the Elizabeth is because Elizabeth plus Bellanoir Libero equals Astegon, and then Astegon plus Kitsun equals Shadowbeak, and that's how we're going to get the Siren of the Void passive into our Shadowbeaks. So I want you to go mass catch Elizabeths until you get a male and a female, preferably with blank passives. And then you're going to go breed your Elizabeth with a Bellanoir Libero. Could be any Bellanoir Libero, male, female, doesn't matter. The important thing is that it has Siren of the Void. So here coming up now, if you pay attention to the video, I've caught my Elizabeth, and I'm going to mash her together in the breeding pen with Bellanoir Libero. So we should have a male and a female here. You can breed an Elizabeth down to level 1 if you want, doesn't really matter. So the skills don't matter at this point, doesn't matter what they inherit. All you want is the Siren of the Void passive from her. You can get Demon God from either of them if you happen to have an Elizabeth or one of those with Demon God, but here we're just aiming for Siren of the Void, so the goal is a Siren of the Void Astegon, okay? So just leave those in the breeding pens. And then while those are cooking, we are gonna wait a bit, and then I'm gonna fast forward here to hatching them, and the goal is to get an Astegon, like I told you, with Siren of the Void. We have a couple of them here. The skills that inherit don't matter. In this case, we have a Demon God and a Siren of the Void. I got Demon God this way. You can do it a different way. Doesn't really matter. Demon God just has to come from somewhere. In this case, we have rolled an Astegon that has Siren of the Void and Demon God. Skills don't matter at this point. And I think I have a couple more here. Yep. So you can see there, I'm getting Astegons with the passives that I want. So once we have that, we're going to set that aside. That's going to be our Siren of the Void Astegon. Next up, we're going to go catch a Frostallion Noct. That's how we're going to get Legend into the breeding chain. And also, Siren of the Frostallion Noct has Dark Whisp. It's the only way to inherit it. So we're going to go to the Frostallion Noct location while your other pals breed, and I want you to catch as many of these as you can, preferably with 2 blank passives. So these guys, I play with spawn settings ×3, so I get triple bosses here. It's a little bit harder, but nothing that's too crazy. Just bring a dragon if you can. Dragon's really good against them. So just catch these guys over and over. Preferably, you're going to get one that has Legend and Lord of the Underworld, which is the 20% Dark passives. We don't want Lord of the Underworld. We only want Legend from him. And obviously Dark Whisp, which we're going to get from him. So just catch these over and over until you get in a male and a female. Then I want you to take the male and the female, mash them together in the breeding pens, which I'm going to show you shortly after the fight is over here. This was a really messy fight because I just kind of threw my transport dragon here and just didn't really give him enough skills to fight with. He doesn't have the right skills, so this is just a clusterfuck, this fight. So I hope you see me get my butt kicked here, but we made it. Caught all three of these, excuse me. So once you have a male and a female, it doesn't really matter if you get extra passes that are unwanted. Here I got a bunch of extra passes, as you can see. I got Legend, Lord of the Underworld, and some other garbage. I want you to take a male and a female, and I want you to breed them in the breeding pens, male and female, mash them together. Okay, until you hatch a level 1 that has Legend, or as few passes as possible. You're going to try to whittle down the passes until it's just Legend. And you want the inherited skill on the baby to be Dark Whisp. So this is where Dark Whisp and Legend are going to come from. This is going to be the longest portion of the video because I think it's the most tedious one. So here we've got the catches. We're going to bring them back to the base. And here I'm hatching them, I'm breeding them together, as you can see. And then I'm just going to wait here, and I'm going to show you the extensive process of whittling down to the passes I want. So I want to narrow it down to a Frostallion Noct that has Legend and Siren of the Void. So here I'm hatching some eggs for Frostallion Nocts from that couple. And you can see here that I'm rolling a bunch of useless shit. But you can see that the babies, some babies are getting Dark Whisp, which is what I want. That's really good. And you're going to see me here mashing together a bunch of babies. So I'm whittling down. I want to get down to just Legend and just Dark Whisp as the inherited skill. So that's what I'm doing here. And then while that happens, while I do that on video, I did want to talk about the breeding chain here. So whenever you're targeting a PAL, I want you to do a lot of research on paldatabase.com, paldb.org or whatever it's called. I'll link it to you in the video description. So you understand where each element of the final PAL is going to come from. So in this case, we're going to do Elizabeth plus Bellanoir Libero to get Siren of the Void. We're going to do Mass Shadowbeaks to get Demon God and Serenity if you need it in the breeding chain. So to get a Shadowbeak with Demon God. We're gonna also be catching a Hellzephyr to breed with Frostallion Noct, which makes an Astegon. And once we have the Astegon with the passives and the skill that we want, which is Dark Whisp, we're gonna be breeding Astegon with a Kitsun. So that's coming up later in the video. So remember that the steps are Elizabeth plus Bellanoir Libero gives you an Astegon with Siren of the Void. And don't worry, I'm gonna put that all in the video description. And then Hellzephyr and Frostallion Noct is gonna give us another Astegon. So we're going to have an Astegon that has Siren of the Void, and we're going to have another Astegon that has the passes that we want with Dark Whisp. Okay? And then we're going to combine them. We're going to mash them together, those two Astegons, so we get an Astegon that has everything we want. Siren of the Void, Legend, Demon God, Serenity, Dark Whisp. Then we're going to take that Astegon that has everything that we want, and we're going to mash it with a Kitsun, which is going to produce Shadowbeak. The cool thing about this process is that you're going to get pals that you can use for other stuff, such as Astegons that have Dark Whisp. So in case you wanted to breed an Astegon army for Dark Whisp, you already have it. And then you can also just, which is the goal of the video, to make Shadowbeaks with Dark Whisp. We're going to use the Astegons to merge them together with a Kitsun, which makes Shadowbeaks. And then we're going to start getting a lot of Shadowbeak breeding pairs that have 100 IVs, and this comes later in the video. We're going to start getting pairs that have baby Shadowbeaks that come with Dark Whisp and the passive we want. So the beauty about the way I do this is that I don't really worry about IVs right now. You don't really have to worry about IVs in this part of the process. We worry about IVs in the end, and that's because we pretty much have unlimited skill fruits. So here I'm just still merging Frostallion Noct. As you can see, I'm looking at what I get here. I'm trying to find ones that have Legend and one other passive, or at least Legend and nothing else. And here we have one that's Legend and Dark Whisp, I believe. See, we've got Legend and something else. So we're whittling it down slowly. And the goal is that we're going to get Frostallion Noct male and female with only Legend and Dark Whisp and the air cannon or whatever, which is the skill, the extra skill here. So here I'm whittling it down. As you can see, things are coming together nicely. See, I'm kind of finding a male and a female here that just have Legend and the skill that we want. So I'm just replacing the breeding pair over and over, and then back to the drawing board, letting them make some eggs. The end result of this process right now is going to be like you saw there, it's going to be a pair that has just Legend and then Dark Whisp. So once we have the Frostallion Noct, male or female, that has Legend, you can see here I'm matching the babies. Once we have a Frostallion Noct that has Legend and Dark Whisp and Air Cannon, which is the other level 1 skill, which I think I get here finally. Let me see, I think it's this hatch. So remember, we're looking for a baby Frostallion Noct with just Legend and Dark Whisp. This one didn't get it. Let's see here. Maybe the next patch. Got a bunch of eggs here. So we're looking for one blue passive. Not that one. See, that one had legend only, but not Dark Whisp. So I didn't get it there. Okay, I think I got it. Yeah, I think I did get it there. So here I got one that has just legend and Dark Whisp. No, I had one that's just air cannon and legend, so I'm replacing the other parents so that it makes it easier. I'm trying to just whittle down skills to just legends. So I'm replacing the female here with a female that just has, I think it's a male, or sorry, a female that just has legends. So I'm slowly narrowing it down. Then I'm getting some more eggs, some time went by. And eventually I'm gonna get this, which is just legend and Dark Whisp, which is the goal. So now we have our Frostallion that is narrowed down to just the legend and Dark Whisp. Which is awesome, it's exactly what we wanted. And you can make as many copies of you want of that if you want them for breeding purposes later on the line. So here, as you can see, I ended up with a Frostallion Noct that has just Dark Whisp and Legends. And I'm going to put them together. I think I wanted to make a different sex there, different gender, because of the Kitsun that I rolled happened to be a different different gender. So I eventually wanted to end up with, I think, a different male or female or whatever. But here we can see the end results. It's a female that has Dark Whisp and Legends. So that looks good. And okay, so here we have a male and a female that has Legends. So that's going to start making Frostallion Noct that just have Legends. So there we have Dark Whisp male and female. Frostallion Noct that are meant to pass on Dark Whisp and Legend. That's all they do. And then that concludes that part of the process. So congratulations if you made it this far. And now we're going to go catch ourselves a Hellzephyr. The reason for catching the Hellzephyr is because we need to combine the Frostallion Noct with the Hellzephyr to transfer all this stuff over to Astegon. So you can go do this simultaneously while your other stuff breaks down. You can do this in any order that you want. I'm going to put this all in the video description. I know it's going to be a lot to keep track of, but the cool thing about this process is that we don't really worry about IVs until the very end. Once we have a Shadowbeak baby, male and female, that we want to start using as our breeding parents. Once we have that, they're the ones that we're going to max IVs on. None of this. This stuff is just part of the process. We don't care about IVs at this point, which is the beauty of the process. So here, I'm catching Hellzephyrs. And I'm missing a lot of spheres, by the way, which a lot of homing modules there went haywire and caught other stuff. Oh my god. My dog is like whining at me. So I'll go outside. We're going outside soon, don't worry. Like, why are you wasting your time making these videos? Like, what's wrong with you? So, alright, so we should be almost done with the Hellzephyrs here. As before, try to get a blank passive male and female if you can, so that it matches whatever Frostallion Noct you've settled with. The reason for blank passives is that we don't want to introduce any unwanted passives into the chain. So I think here I kept going until I got a male and female Hellzephyr with blank passives. As you can see here, I'm at, this is the Goplin's going to make. And this goes for any raid pal that you're going to create armies for. This is the process, basically. Getting the things that you want on the pal. So we're going to keep going here until we get the blank. I think I rolled a couple of blanks here at some point. See these that have one passive, two passives. Those are okay. But remember, you're going to be breeding them with the Frostallion Noct that whittled down all the way to Legends. So we don't want to mix the Legends with, I think there, I got a blank right there, so that's good. We don't want to mix the Legends with anything else right now. If you happen to get one with Serenity, that would be great. So here we're done with the Hellzephyrs. Now we're going to take our Hellzephyr that we caught. This one had Serenity, which is great. And then we're going to mesh it together with a with our Dark Whisp Frostallion. I think I did this here at some point. Or no, I think I actually made Hellzephyr baby here. I put together a male and female Hellzephyr to get them low level, and the reason I did that is to whittle down the passive. So yeah, I kept going until I had a level 1 Hellzephyr there, which you can see, to minimize the amount of moves. So you can do that if you want. It's going to make things go faster. So we're taking the Hellzephyr level 1 with Serenity and 1 skill and merging it with the Dark Whisp Frostallion. putting them to breeding, then leave the breeding pen going. Then we're coming back, and that's going to give us a Astegon. We're going to get Astegon eggs here. So we're looking here for Astegon eggs that have Dark Whisp and Legend, and Serenity since we got it from Helsefyr. So that's how we're getting those skills onto Astegon. And again, like I said, I'm going to put all this in the video description. So here I'm scouring through the eggs with the passives, the color passives. So here we finally got it. So you can see there was a Serenity, Legend, Dark Whisp Astegons there. So we're pretty much on the other side of the process now. We have the Astegon babies with Dark Whisp that we wanted and Legends. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take these Dark Whisp Astegons with Legend and we're going to merge them. Remember the Astegon we got from the Bellanoir? We're going to merge them together with the Siren of the Void Astegon, and that's going to give us Astegons that have Dark Wisp, Siren of the Void, Legend, and the other passes. Again, it's up to you how you get Demon God. You can mass breed any of the pals in this process to get it. I would recommend just catching 2 Shadowbeaks and having at it. You can get Demon God later in the chain. So here we're merging together the Astegons, and the purpose of this is going to get babies that have everything we want together in Astegon. And that's supposed to be Legend, Serenity, Siren of the Void, Demon God, and Dark Whisp. Well, here we have a male that has what we want. It's perfect. I think I got a couple of those, but that's basically what we wanted. It's a level 1 Astegon with Dark Whisp, Siren of the Void, etc. And then we're going to go catch ourselves a Kitsun. And once again, we want to preferably go for blank passive Kitsuns so that it doesn't. We don't want to introduce any other unnecessary, unwanted passes. Don't want to do that. So I'm going to keep going here until I start to see Kitsuns that have no passives. And try to match the gender opposite of your Astegon. Or if you want, it might be easier to just breed a male and a female Astegon. That's what you want. And then the Kitsun, the blank Kitsun that you get, doesn't matter what gender it is, you're just be ready to go. Or you could get lucky and roll a Kitsun with Demon God or Serenity, which is one of the passes that we were looking for. So lots of Kitsuns in this area. I'll be putting the coordinates of where to hunt everything. I mean, you can find it online at this point. All the coordinates for the pals are online. So we'll be hunting the Kitsuns here until I start seeing some blanks. Yeah, that's the spot on the map with the Kitsuns at night. Oh, by the way, Kitsun is at night. Only spawns at night. Don't think I've ever bred Kitsun for anything, except for to do this. It's like to make other pals. So at this point, we should have our Kitsuns. We're going to take the Kitsun back to the base. And then the next step in the chain is going to be mashing together the Astegon that we made, that has all the components that we're looking for, together with the Kitsun. And that's going to give us Shadowbeaks. And those Shadowbeaks are going to have everything that is inherited from the Astegon. It's going to be... so here we have our Kitsun and our Astegon. The Astegon, as you can see, has Dark Wisp and all the passes we want. If you want to make it easier on yourself, you can breed a Kitsun male and female together to get a level 1 Kitsun that has less skills, but up to you. I chose to just say fuck it and just use that Kitsun, whatever. Put these 2 together in the breeding pen, leave it running, come back the next day, and that's going to start giving us Shadowbeaks. So congratulations, you're now almost done with the process. They're not 100 IVs yet, but basically here at this point what I'm looking for is a Shadowbeak that rolled with Dark Wisp as its skill, and the passes that we want. If you want at this point, you're going to start getting some babies that have 2 and 2 or 3 and 3, whichever passes you're looking for, you can merge them together. And the goal of this part of the process is to get a Shadowbeak that has close to 100 IVs with the skills that we want. I think I got a couple here, let me see. I think I got a couple with decent IVs. So the goal here is going to be to get Shadowbeak with 100 IVs, male and female, with the passes that we want, and with Dark Wisp. And the end result of that, here as you can see, I have a Dark Wisp male and female, with Dark Wisp and the pass that we want, so we're going to put them together. We have, where's the male? I'm looking for the other pair here. Here it is. I think it's a, let's see, where is it? I'm looking for, none of them got on. Okay, so here I have a female I believe it's a female. Okay, so here I'm selecting out the pair that I want and putting together a male and female that both have Dark Whisp and the passive we want. So I'll be showing that breeding pair in a second here. So I'm looking for a male to go with the female that has Dark Whisp. So here we go. Okay. So here I'm putting together the two that we want. So here we have a male with the passives, 4 passives and a female with 1, but they both have Dark Whisp. None of them have 100 IVs, so at this point you're going to take the skill fruits that you farmed from raids, and you're going to make both of them 100 IVs. That's the beauty of the process. You only care about this at the end of the process. So now we have a Shadowbeak male and female breeding pair. Congratulations. These two are going to produce infinite Shadowbeaks with Dark Whisp. It's just a matter of time. So once you have this breeding pair going, you're pretty much done. You can create more breeding pairs like this and multiply the breeding pens. You can have up to as many breeding pens as you want if you make it go faster. But the point of this is putting together the male and the female together. And these two together are going to produce 100 IV Shadowbeaks with Dark Whisp and with the passes that we want. So we're going to show that in a second here. I'm going to put the male and the female together. Leave the breeding pairs running. Come back the next day. And you're going to start getting Shadowbeaks with the passives and Dark Whisp. I think I have a couple of them here that didn't have 100 IVs and some mutations, like this one got Vanguard. But eventually they're going to start coming out with 100 IVs, Dark Whisp, and the passes that we want. So that's going to do it for this guide. I know I've gotten a lot of questions on how to do this. This is a step-by-step process. This works for any pal. Just be patient. But yeah, this is going to give you what you want. Just a matter of time. Break down the process little by little. Thank you guys for watching. Leave me some feedback. Give me a like. Give me a subscribe if you enjoyed it. And I will see you next video.